through the week going in there. Look at that. Alright, I'm going to bring this out just in case. This might be worth burning. Howdy everybody, it's Tim, going for some beekeeping mysteries. Oh, I see a friend all the way in the distance there. Hey. So, first things first, let's get ourselves covered in smoke. Here, let me give you a little too. Alright, there you go. So, come on, now that you got a little smoke on you, come and take a little step closer. Let's see if you can see this. As you can see, this hive here is so happy, super excited. And I'm really excited about this because this is a hive that was not doing that well. They almost had run out of food and I gave them like a whole box of honey. And clearly that like really paid off. Now, at certain times of the year when you see this much activity in front of the hive, I get a little bit nervous. I'm like, oh, are they trying to rob one of the other hives out? Is one hive stronger than another? But one thing I'm seeing a lot of, and you'll be safe if you come closer from the side, I'm seeing a lot of like little yellow dots on the legs of some of those bees. I don't know if you can see that or not. But they're bringing in a lot of pollen right now. So that's mostly, a lot of the food source right now is pollen. And they'll use that pollen. The nurse bees will eat the pollen and then they produce a food for the developing bees. So pollen is really important because they need that pollen to make food for the babies that are being laid right now in the hive. So there's a lot of good activity in this front of this hive. A lot of activity in front of like that sort of third hive with the giant cinder block on it. Some good activity, I'm seeing pollen coming in the hive that's right in the middle. But the activity where I'm not seeing things, one of my mysteries today, what is going on with this hive right here? So that's the mystery we're gonna explore today. So, about to go in. I got a few tools. I want to show you what I've got. I got my smoker, of course. We're gonna use this to knock on the door. So why don't I actually knock on the door of the hive right now, let them know I'm coming. I'm gonna puff a little smoke in there. All right, ladies, I'm coming in. And I have my hive tools that I'll use to open up the hive in case it gets kind of sticky in there. These are really good for that. I have a veil for myself and our camera person, which is Chris right now, in case they get feisty. But I know a lot of you would love to watch me get stung. I get stung all the time, so no hard feelings. That might make this more of a comedy show. And then I have a couple of different options for food. I'm wondering if maybe they need some food, if they're still alive. So this stuff is I call this bee blocks. It's like sugar with a kind of pretend pollen mixed together. Here, I'll bring that a little closer so you can see. It kind of looks like the inside of a candy bar or something, but shouldn't eat it. Not for us to eat, for the bees. But the other thing that I do have, and I don't want to make you too jealous, but I do have a few frames with a little bit of honey. It's not a whole lot right now, but you know, that could make the difference for some of them between life and death. And that honey is still good to taste, so you can get a lick of that. All right. Sorry not to make you too jealous there. All right, ready? We're going in. One thing you might be wondering is, why do all these hives look like little air conditioner units or refrigerators? And the answer is that they have this insulation on them to help keep some of the warmth into the hive. There's also a very nerdy and long explanation for why it's like this that I won't give right now. All right. Let's see what's happening. Knock, knock, we knock. Oh, they're still alive. There's a few little heads poking up here. You can see her coming out. She's coming out to check it out. What's going on? Do you like honey? Can you smell the honey on my fingers? And her sisters are coming out to look too. So I'm gonna give them a little puff of smoke, and we're gonna see what's going on in here. See if we can solve the mystery of why is this hive almost totally inactive. All right. Well, one reason might be that they have almost no population. Let's see. I'm seeing like a few little heads poking up. I don't know if you can see that. There's some bees coming out here, but it's not very big. This time of the year, I want that to look almost like the size of a volleyball at least, bigger. This looks more like a large grapefruit size. One thing I'm seeing though is that they still do have honey, so I'm going to take one of these frames out to show you, and then we're going to look a little bit deeper inside just to see if we can see what's going on. Yeah, so they have plenty of honey in here, so I'm not worried about them having food. I'm worried about whether or not they have enough bees. So let's look a little deeper. I mean, maybe with any luck they're just like, well, we don't need to go out. We have plenty of food in here. This is great. We're having a great time. Okay. Yeah, it's really small. It's super tiny. I don't hold out a whole lot of hope for this hive, unfortunately. But we'll see. Here's one bringing in some pollen right now. I don't know if you can see that on her legs, but yeah, this is really tiny. A really tiny little colony. So you can see there's only, I mean, that's maybe hundreds of bees. I want there to be thousands of bees right now. So I'm gonna close this up again. We'll look one more box down, but I don't feel super hopeful about them. But who knows? Maybe they'll make it. They've made it this far. They have plenty of food. So as long as it stays warm enough, who knows? Maybe they'll be able to keep their queen laying, and they'll be doing all right. Let's see. Is there anyone down here? No, not really anyone down here. Okay. I'm going to make a drastic choice. I'm going to move the bottom box off. I don't know if this is the smartest thing to do or not. But no, actually I'll leave them like they are. I'm just going to leave them like they are. Put this back together. And let them be. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I solved most of our mysteries. One of the questions I had was, are the bees alive? They're still alive. At least in that hive, and I can tell that all the other hives are alive. Probably after the video I'll check this hive and maybe I'll make a little post to show, maybe take a photo and show you what's going on in here. So the bees are alive. I think the reason that there's much more activity in some of the hives than others is that, as you saw, that's a very small cluster of bees. So they probably are, at this point, are just trying to keep the babies alive and keep their warmth together, and they might not have the same resources to go and send a lot of bees out to go forage, but we'll see. Hopefully we didn't set off a whole frenzy when we open that up. And then, will Tim get stung? That we'll still find out. I think those are all the questions I have. But I just wanted to show you this hive real quick, just take a peek inside, so you can see what it would look like when you have a very happy, healthy hive. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be a much different situation in this hive. So let's see what's going on. And because they're a stronger hive, they might be a little more mad when I try to open them up. Hello! So first things first, look at how many more bees there are just on the top of this than in the other one. And now let's open this up and see what's going on inside. Oh yeah, look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That is so different. Look at that. compare that to the other hive. Look how many bees there are in there. And I'm seeing that they still have honey. They are getting to the top of this a little bit. So I think what I'm gonna do, just to, you know, give them a little extra love, I'm gonna give them a few little bee blocks. Maybe, actually, you know what, since you're watching, let's pull one of these out. Make them go home a little bit. And let's see, we could always swap out if they have a lot of, if they don't have a lot of honey in one of these frames, we can swap one out for one that has more, but we'll see. Oh my gosh. That one I'm not going to look at right now. The queen is already laying plenty of eggs in that one. Holy moly. Let's see what's going on here. I'll show you that one in a second, but let's see this one here. Oh yeah, okay, wow. So this is already queen hard at work. Those are all the new population for this year coming in. She's already been laying a lot of eggs. Oops, just squished them. And they're on both sides here. So I'm actually gonna put a whole another box on top of this. What I'm probably gonna do is take the bottom box from the bottom of the hive and put it up on top of this hive. But you know what, that's gonna be too long to show in the video. So anyway, this beehive is very happy. They're doing very well. And because as they move in the winter, they kind of move up to where their honey is. My guess is that the bottom box is going to be almost totally empty. So I'm going to take their bottom box and just put it on top here. It's a little early to do that maybe, but I'm going to give a little bit of honey in that bottom box. And this hive is in great shape right now.